Today we're going to do a seated yoga session, and we're going to start with mountain pose. If you are able to have your feet flat on the floor, if not, if you have short legs like me, you can have a block or a bolster underneath, and then just sitting with your hands on your legs, taking a deep breath, and rolling your shoulders back a little bit. I'm just going to take 2 more deep breaths. You can also have your hands down by your sides with your palms out. And then we're just going to go into hip circles. You can have your feet a little bit further apart. If you want to keep them up on a bolster, you can do that. And I'm just going to start with our breath. I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just doing 3 more. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And last one. Pausing at the top. Take another breath. And reverse the circles. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. 3 more. And last one. From here, we're just going to do some head circles and a little bit of range of motion with our head. So when we're doing head circles, we don't want to come all the way back. Imagine that you're drawing a circle on the wall in front of you with your nose. So you can also just keep it as a half circle, side to side. But if it's comfortable, bringing your nose up without compressing the back of your neck. I'm going to do 3 more. I'm going to breathe in on the way up, breathe out on the way down. You might feel some pops and cracks in there, that's okay, as long as there's no pain. And then I'm going to pause at the front and reverse the circles. And last one. And then we're just going to look over to our right shoulder and just see how far you go. You don't have to twist too far. And then over to the left. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Maybe following with your eyes a little bit further behind you, but keeping your head right where it feels comfortable with a gentle stretch. And to the other side. You can also have your hands lightly with your palms up in case you feel any tension by pressing against your legs. And then 1 more time, each direction. And then we're going to take our hands on our shoulders, if possible having your elbows in line with your shoulders. We're just going to do 5 circles going front. And if this is uncomfortable, you can just keep your shoulders here. And then pause and reverse the circles. Nice straight line with your back, sitting on your sits bones, not your tailbone. You don't want to crunch down like that. You want to make sure that you're nice and supported. And last one. And then we're going to bring our hands out to the front. We're going to make fists and then flick your hands away. Make a fist, flick the hands away. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Grip as tight as you can, and flick, and 1 more time, and flick. And if you want, you can do a little shaking here like this. Get all that out of there. And then we're going to do some flex and extend with our toes. So you can either just have one foot on the ground and your foot up like this. If that's uncomfortable, you can also just rest the back of your calf on the bolster. And then just flex your toes away and bring it up towards your nose. Flex. Jimmy, flex, extend, flex, extend, flex, extend. And last one. And we're going to do the other leg. Flex, extend, flex, extend. I'm going to do 3 more. And if you want, you could also do both feet at the same time. Although if we were doing it up here, that's also engaging the core. And then we're going to bring our right foot up and our left arm up. And we're going to try to have a nice straight line with the leg if we can, but it's okay if it comes down or if you want to rest on the bolster. And then opposite. And I'm just going to do maybe a little march. So maybe with a little flow. Making sure to breathe. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One more time each side. And then we're going to come to the edge of the chair as far as comfortable, bringing our knees nice and wide. Going to do cactus arms if this feels okay. If not, you can bring it down closer to your sides. And then keeping that belly as if you have a zipper coming up here to contract these muscles. And then just doing a couple of circles with your right leg. And then reverse the circles. You can also imagine that you're stepping over a big rock or a log. And last one. Other side. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And if you need to take a rest with your arms, you can rest your arms. 2 more. And reverse it. And sort of keep this tight to protect your back as well as to work on the abs a little bit there. And then we're going to pause for a second and take a deep breath. Resituate your sits bones. Going into goddess, having your toes pointed out. You could have your hands here on your lap. You can bring your hands back up into cactus arms if that feels comfortable. You can also bring a nice big breath up and release it. I'm going to go into a little bit of a side bend, so if it's comfortable, you can lean down onto your leg. For me, it feels more comfortable to bring my heel up in this position. And then if it's also comfortable, you can bring your other arm up and look up. Look at the ceiling, at a certain spot on the ceiling or at your fingertips. If that's uncomfortable for your neck, you can keep it straight across or looking down at your big toe. And then coming back up and then going to the other side. And then while we're here, just bringing the feet a little bit in front, taking your right hand onto your left knee and your left hand on the chair behind you, either down low or higher if that feels good. You can look straight ahead or look back at your back thumb. And bring it to the front, crisscross, bringing it down low or up high. Either way, whether it's low or high, you want to make sure your chest is nice and high. And look back at your back thumb. We're going to go into Cobra. So you have a couple of options here. You can bring your hands as if you're doing the top of a push-up or the bottom of a push-up and lean into it. And you can feel the muscles contracting through here. You could also lean forward and arch your back a little bit right here. And then we have another option coming up in a minute. We're going to come back and go into Anjali Mudra. Just take a breath and a rest for a few seconds. And then the other Cobra option is to reach the chair behind you, whether it's low or high, whatever feels right for your shoulders and your chest. And then lean forward just a little bit, making sure we're not crunching those shoulders, bringing the shoulders down. And take a deep breath and release. One more time. I'm going to do another mountain pose where we're going to raise our hands this time and look up. And release back down to Anjali. And one more time, going into mountain. And release. I'm going to sit back on our chair a little bit again and bringing your right foot up. So you could just keep it on the bolster and just keep it here and tucking under your knee, under your hamstring behind your knee. If it's comfortable, you can lift your leg up. So you're bringing your knee towards your chest. You don't have to touch your chest. And then bringing it back down. I'm going to do that one more time. Deep breath in and release. Without the bolster, it would look like either bringing it here or bringing it closer, keeping those shoulders nice and tall. Deep breath and release. Deep breath and release. From here, we're going to go into eagle. So we can do just the legs, and only if this is comfortable. If it feels better, you can cross your ankles here. Just crossing from left to right has some balancing effects in the body, so this is totally fine, keeping it here. If it's comfortable, bringing your knee, your right leg over your left. Sometimes there's a little twisty action here. I can't really do that today, so I'm just crossing my legs. And then you can keep your hands here, or you can bring your right hand, your right arm on top of your left hand on top of your right, and hold, or you can give yourself a hug, whatever feels right for you here. From here, we're going to bring our leg out a little bit. If we need to, we can bring our bolster back, or we can keep the bolster the entire time. And we're just going to do some ankle circles. Just help with that synovial fluid and help us to be able to have better range of motion. I'm going to do 5 circles in each direction. And then we're going to go into pigeon. So we're going to keep our leg where it's at, and we can just stay right here. That's totally fine. Or you can take a deep breath and move forward a little bit. If that feels good, we're going to hold that for a few breaths. You could also drape your arms over, whatever feels right. It changes day by day. Some days we're tighter, some days we can go further, but we never want to push too far to where we feel pain. And release it. I'm going to switch legs, so we're going to go back to eagle pose. So either crisscrossing the ankles here, or bringing it up and over. And this time, if you choose to, bringing your right arm over your left, and you could either touch the palms of your hand as your fingertips, or you can just give yourself a big hug, or just keep your hands here, or maybe even cross here, whatever feels right. And then we're going to bring the knee up a little bit and do 5 circles with our ankles in each direction. You could also help it along if that feels right. Gentle grinding of the ankles, and then reverse it. pops and cracks are okay, as long as you don't feel pain. And then we're going to go into pigeon. So keeping the leg right here, and either having your hands here, leaning forward, or draping forward. Deep breath in, and release. Another option for our pigeon is to bring the bolster up here. It's kind of a big bolster, or a smaller pillow. And then we can also just rest into it this way. And as I'm doing this, I'm feeling the weight of the bolster is also helping to bring my knee down a little bit. And lastly, we're just going to come into a simple sitting position just to completely relax. You can do this a few different ways. Today, I think we're just going to just sit in a comfortable pose, like mountain pose, having our hands on our lap with our palms face up. And just close your eyes. And while your eyes are closed, looking up at your third eye, that space between your eyebrows, just above, and just take 3 deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose. Last one. Thank you so much for joining me today.